So now we're going to take this area map that we've created with topos and building masses and roads and streets and a lake right here. And we're going to identify the property, the actual property that we have uh, to build on. Of course, we don't possibly own all this property. Uh, it's just the area in which we're going to design. And so let's establish the property lines or the limits of where we can build. And so to do that, normally that would come from a survey, an engineering survey. You definitely want it from an engineer, and and they've identified it, and it's a legal document. You don't want to build on somebody else's property. Um, that could create all kinds of problems, right? So let's do that. Um, I'm going to set up some guidelines real quick using a model line. And the problem is I haven't been able to figure out any way to snap to subregion areas. So what I'm going to do is just uh, create these lines as close as I can to the existing lines. I'm going to SO here, snap off, so that I can get this there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is draw a vertical line here. Okay. And with those two lines, I can get the angle uh, off here. So let's do that. We're going to go up here and use the quick key and select this and select this. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, Dimensions. We want to do angle and select this and select that. And then we can go in here. And so this is 1.47, okay, off of true north. Um, so true north is vertically up, and this is 1.47 off of true north degrees. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assume there's like a 10-foot setback right here. So we're just going to do a simple selection here, do a modify, do an offset, and we'll set this is 10 feet, and we'll do an offset of that line there. So we'll have that to work with. And it'd probably be good if we had some lines right here uh, to work with too. Uh, so I'm just going to establish some lines real quickly. And of course, we'd actually want this architecture model line here. And I'm going to assume that arc is going to end somewhere right about in there. And so let's put in a arc there. Uh, Architecture model line. And we're going to, once again, go model line, and we'll use a center line to here. And, oops, snap the wrong location. Center line. Let's see if we can get the intersection here. I don't know if that's 10. Oh, that's not consistently 10 feet. Okay. Well, I'm going to go offline because you don't need to watch me going through this process. Uh, you you can pretty much figure it out yourself. It's just a matter of putting some guidelines in using model lines, and I'll be right. Okay, so I'm back, and I've come in and put a series of arcs and elements here to create the boundary, and then I need to offset those all 10 feet. So once again, I'll go in and use modify. Um, oh, where's modify? There it is. Uh, and use an offset 10 feet. And we'll just offset these lines up here. so that I can use them when I go to do that. And so now I have my setback, and so that's where my property line is going to be. And I'm going to assume the properties just will make up some kind of dimension right there. So the next thing is to create those property lines. I'm going to go into property lines right here. Uh, Once again, if we had a survey, we could just type this in by entering distances and bearings, but we don't, so we're just going to sketch it. And uh, and what would make this a lot easier to sketch would be to orient this to true north. Okay, from true north. Right now we're true north. What would be better is if this line right here were project north. Okay, and in Revit, you can have a project north and a true north, and you can flip back and forth between those things. And in this case, it'd be nice if this line here were a vertical line, right? So that we could work off of it. So if this line was a vertical line right here. So to create a true north, let's go into site right here, and you'll see right here uh, there's orientation is in project north, and this is true north. Right now they're both the same. So what I'm going to do is go in here to project north, and I'm going to change that. So let's go to manage, and then position coordinates. Let's see. No, position. Yes. Uh, Rotate project north. Okay, so I'm set on project north right now, so I want to rotate that. So I'm going to align that to a selected line or plane. Okay, and that plane that I want to orient it to is this, or line is this line right here. Okay, and so basically what it's going to do is it's going to take everything and it's going to create a vertical. Okay, and that vertical now is what we would call true north. I mean, project north. True north is of course back at this line right here. So our north arrow would actually point 1.47 degrees in that direction. Okay. So with that done, now it'll be a little bit easier to draw utilizing this. So if I ever want to go back to what is called true north, all I have to do is select true north, and it's going to flip it back, and now we're facing true north. Okay. So let's look at project north here and start drawing some property lines. So we're going to go into massing, uh, property lines, create by sketching, and then we'll just say that my property is, I don't know, 400 feet in this direction in this case. Okay. And then we'll say it's 200 feet or 250 feet in this direction. 250 feet in this direction. And then we're going to come down, and we'll trim that up here in just a second. And then what I'm going to do is use the select line, and I'm going to select this line, this line, this line, and that line to be a part of the property line. And then I'm going to trim these two lines here. Okay, so now I've got a closed loop, and a property line would be a closed boundary. And I'm going to say OK to that. And now I've got those property lines in there that I can use. Okay, so now I'm ready to, whoops, delete it. I'm going to delete these off because I'm not going to need them. If I felt like I was going to need them again, I might leave that one for right now, but I think I'll go ahead and delete that one. And so now this is the property in which we're going to put. In the next video, we're going to go through and set up some other stuff. So what you should do is set your property line.